Can we get started already?
Well, we gotta make sure that shit works.
Tyler Earl's a better all-around shooter than he is.
All around, yeah, but 3-point, no.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
You're on crack.
Nope.
Worthy.
Is Cooper Kupp a Hall of Famer?
No!
No!
Yeah!
Okay. Cooper Kupp is the same as Kawhi Leonard.
No, he's not!
Started.
Tyreek Hill's family. Tyreek Hill was never the best receiver in the league. He was top 3. Ray Lewis was the best player in the league.
It is a criminal act
And
of what he did to that organization.
Average quarterback, I have him at 15.
I have him at 24.
No, that's crazy. That's
No.
crazy. Listen, Dak Prescott is not. Just because he's overpaid doesn't mean he's bad.
Tell me what big game he's won.
That doesn't matter.
Yes,
You
it
don't-
does.
No, it doesn't.
Welcome back to the Through the Lane podcast. It's just me again today. We'll have everybody back hopefully once classes are over. But it's been an interesting week, and I've got a lot of things I want to talk about. Last night, Chris Paul was cut from the Clippers. The Clippers are one of the worst teams in basketball. Might be the worst roster in basketball. Oh, why did I say baseball? Basketball. I mean, they're up 9-2 right now in the Hawks, and we'll talk about the Hawks in a minute. But I mean, this roster is so poorly constructed. It's like the joke's been the unction, and also I want to address why. Yeah, I'm outside again, and it's cold as nuts. So you might see my breath and my hood's up. So is that the most professional thing in the world? No, but we're gonna get it done today. It might be a little bit quicker of an episode. John Collins is 28. Loudy's getting up there. But this roster, it just makes no sense, really, when you look at it put together. Right? I mean, you want to look at games started. That was last year's roster. Come on. There we go. Yeah, their starting lineup, consists of, we're looking at the top 5 here. Kawhi Leonard's only started 11 games. Bradley Beal is out for the year. They have no depth. Brook Lopez looks slow. Chris Paul, what were his stats? No, 2.9 points a game, and he had terrible field goal percentage. I really don't know why he decided to play this year. I thought he should have retired last year after the Spurs. It's important that he can't start anymore. And you can kind of play him in some minutes as a reserve. This year, you can't. I think if he were to go somewhere, it'd be Charlotte or a veteran team. But the problem is, I don't know what he can give you. 3 points on 32% shooting from the field is terrible. It's awful. So I really don't know. This roster, I think they whiffed on their first-round pick. Yannick Cohen is all right. Nicholas Batum is still on this roster, right? Cobb Sanders is 8th in the team in starts. I don't even know who this brother is. He was their second-round pick. And he's not playing well. And he's playing a lot. That's how bad this team is. Chris Dunn's getting... they have no consistency to the lineup. James Harden is out. Well, not out, but slowing down. Not really. He's averaging 26.9 points a game, but Kawhi Leonard can't stay healthy. Victor Zubac can only do so much. John Collins is John Collins. He can't... really, this team 3-4 years ago, great. Now, awful. And I really don't see anywhere it goes. I don't know where Chris Paul goes. But I want to talk about the Atlanta Hawks. And the revelation that is happening with that team right now. So Trae Young's been out for a while. They're getting blown out right now, okay? We're not going to talk about tonight against the unction, okay? Because that's just embarrassing. And this team, for 13-9, they've been a lot better as of late. Especially Jalen Johnson, which, holy cow, this is really going to be the Jalen Johnson glazing section right here. He's averaging 23.2 points a game. He's shooting 54% from the field, 41% from the 3. He's averaging 10 rebounds, 7 assists, 1.6 steals, and only 0.4 blocks. But, it's a great efficiency. And as of late, he's been just... let me see if I have the picture here. He's been insane as of late, right? We're watching a guy blossom in front of our eyes. A guy who barely played as a rookie, then barely got playing time the next year, and just develop and become an absolute dog. And if you've been keeping up with basketball, you're watching, I don't have it, week after week after week, him just go nuts. I mean, I could probably pull it up on here, but I mean, him just go insane. And you're just watching this, and he's wheeling the Hawks into a good position. I mean, he looks like a number one option now. And the thing is now, right, like, we don't know what Trae Young can do. If I'm the Hawks, I'm coming to Trae Young and I'm saying, listen, Jalen Johnson's the guy. Like, we know what we got with him. I don't know if he's clutch, but can you be a 2? Can you be a number 2 option? Can you facilitate? Can you just be a ball distributor who can lock in at times? Can you now, because we wanted to get you a number 2. We found a good number 1, a guy that we can rely on, good shooting percentage. He's consistent, right? Game in and game out, you know what you're going to get from Jalen Johnson. Trae Young, you don't know, right? Sometimes it'll be 30, 12, and, 3 steals. Sometimes it's going to be 5 points, 2 assists, and he's taken 24 shots. And you're like, holy cow. And there's no consistency this year and really the end of last year. So you look at it, and you got to come to Trae Young and be like, hey, could you do this, right? Like, you want to win in Atlanta, be the number 2. Don't take 30 shots a game. Take 15, right? Take 15. Play off Jalen Johnson, right? Because if you're Trae Young, sit up to the top of the key. Feed that ball to him, and then go down. Onyeka Okongwu is playing fantastic. I mean, let's look at it. I mean, he's playing out of his mind. Dyson Daniel is sitting in and playing really well. And, like, we're now talking about a team doing so good that they brought in Kristaps Porzingis to be the 3, and they don't need him to be the 3 anymore. Like, the number 3 scoring option. They don't. I mean, they've lost all use for Kristaps. I mean, he's played what? I mean, a handful of games, 12. And, I mean, he's 18.7 points a game. And if you view the future with him, like, if you view that as a future, I'd take it. But Onyeka Okongwu, in 10 starts and 21 total games, 16.4 points, 7.3 rebounds, 3 assists, a block a game. He's shooting 37% from the field, from 3. The only bad 3-point shooter you have right now is Dyson Daniels, and you'll take that because he has 2.3 steals. He's giving you 10 points, 2.3 steals, 6 assists. I think Dyson Daniel as a point guard is not good. I just don't. I think last year he shot the ball better from 3. He's going to be a guy where year to year it's gonna bounce, right? But you'll take that because of the defense. And I think he's viable enough offensively that you can play him. And this is why you've got to have Trae Young buy in as being the number 2 scoring option, because then that just exacerbates Dyson Daniels' role as just a defensive stopper, right? Because now you don't have to rely on Jalen Johnson to be that guy. You can also kind of let Zachary Richardson kind of figure it out. He's not having a good year. 11.4 points a game, 45% from the field, 30% from 3. And, I mean, granted, last year that team lost Jalen Johnson, lost Trae Young for a bit. He had to just score. And I'm hearing music, so I'm tweaking. But, like, he had to score, and now he doesn't, and everyone's kind of lighting him up. But, like, at the same time, he's only averaging 25 minutes a game. He's not playing the end of games. It's more like VT Gricic's closing it out, and holy cow, is he having... I mean, the snipers they have to the bitch. VT Gricic's hitting, 56% from 3. 56%. He's averaging 10 points a game. You then have Kyle Kennard hitting 41% from 3, right? Asa Newell, in the 13 games he's played, looks good. Looks good. Like, you could realistically move Dyson to the 1, have Richardson as the 2, Jalen Johnson is the 3, Asa Newell as the 4, and Onyeka Okongwu is the 5. And that's your starting 5 going forward if you decide to trade Trae Young. And if you do trade Trae Young, you're going to get a haul. Like, I mean, that's a franchise player. I don't think he's on the level of some of them, but he's. I mean, those kind of point guards just don't grow on trees. But he needs to buy in, and he needs. I mean, if I'm the Hawks, I would cut N'Faly Dante for Chris Paul, just for the reason of Chris Paul talked to Trae Young, because in the 5 games Trae Young played, he averaged 17.9 points a game, 37% from the field, 19% from 3. That's not good enough. I mean, it's time for this team to win. You've got Jalen Johnson. And can we just talk about Nickel Walker-Alexander? 20 points a game. This kid was drafted in the first round, right? And I kind of just want to highlight his thing, and then we'll talk about Jalen Johnson's stats, because I know I just kind of went over him. I want to highlight the journey his nickname's Nah has been on, right? This guy was close to being out of the league. He was a first-round pick. His cousin is Shay. He was drafted in the first round the year before. He was the 17th overall pick to the New Orleans Pelicans. He goes to New Orleans. His first year is 5.7 points on 37% from the field. Not good. Just not good. Second year. Again, he's not even playing 50 games at this point in his second year. 11 points a game, okay? 42% from the field. Not that good. He played in 46 games, though. His third year, he gets traded from New Orleans to Utah in the middle of the year. In that year, at that point, he's averaging 13 points a game. But, again, he's averaging that on 37% from the field. Again, it's not very efficient. We're not seeing a very efficient guy. We're seeing a guy, and he's not playing great defense, right? He doesn't start to play good defense until he gets to Minnesota. So, again, year 4, here we are. He gets traded from the Utah Jazz to Minnesota. And it looks like he may have found a home. At Utah, he's averaging 49% from the field, only 6 points. But, I mean, again, and you're starting to see the defense come along. And he goes to Minnesota. And, again, he's not much of an offensive weapon. And everybody looks at that trade going, maybe Minnesota missed. Okay? Then, year 5, right? He comes off. He's a bench guy, mainly. 8 points a game. A steal a game. And he's hitting 39% of his threes. He's now becoming a 3-and-D wing. All you needed. Instead of that on-the-ball scorer, like they were making him with New Orleans and Utah, he's just now that lengthy, annoying defender who can probably give your number one problems, and he can knock down threes. And he can bring the ball up the court, right? Okay, so year 6, here we go. He's now building it up. Okay, this guy was almost out of the league with Utah. That last year in Minnesota, they almost cut him because he just wasn't playing good in his first year in Minnesota. So last year comes around, 9.4 points a game. Again, at this point, he's only shooting 44% from the field, but 38% from 3. And again, another steal a game, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 9.4 points. Off the bench, that's great, right? That's all you want. You throw him in there, and it was him and Jaden McDaniels and somebody else. And the bench unit was him and Naz Reid. And you're like, okay, here we go. Right? I take Mike Conley out, put Nickel Walker-Alexander in there. You've got great defense, and Naz Reid comes in. And that arguably was better than the starting lineup with those two in there. So he gets signed to the Hawks. Big deal. I wanted him to come to Atlanta. We need his defense. And holy shit, he's now scoring 20 points a game. And not only is he doing that, he's shooting some of the best efficiency he's ever hit. 47% from the field, 39% from 3. He's averaging, again, a steal a game, a block a game now, and 3 rebounds, 3 assists. And, he's playing 33 minutes a game. And the guy turned his career around. And he's still only 27. And he got such a good deal. We signed him to a Hall. Let's go, right? Last game, scored 26 points, right? The game before that, 34. The game before that, 30. Game before that, 8. Okay. All right. If you become the 2, holy shit. All right. Okay. And then the game before that, 23. It's progressive where he's looking good, and it's just the comfortability of him making those shots because you didn't see that before. Now to Jalen Johnson, and then we're going to get off from basketball. Okay. He's averaging 23.2 points a game, but last game, 29, 10, or 13 and 7. 13 rebounds, 7 assists. He had no blocks or steals, but 9 points. And he shot 50% from the he shot 50% from the field. If you're getting a guy that's going to get you 29 on that efficiency, you'll take it every day. Again, the game before that, turnovers are kind of high, and I think he's still new to being the primary ball handler in the NBA because he was just kind of like a lob threat. Because of Trae Young, you just have a guy to throw the lob to because he'll float. The floater game where he kind of fakes the floater and lobs it to the cutting power forward or center, right? 41 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. Oh, and by the way, he hit 48%. That was on 48% from the field and 50% from 3. The game before that, 29, 12, and 12 with 2 assists. We've got a triple-double threat. And as an Atlanta fan, this is exciting. I think we need some Dyson Daniels being the 3. Like, we need another offensive weapon to pair with him. But if Trae Young comes back and he pairs well with him, oh my goodness, Atlanta's got it. Atlanta is a threat, and Atlanta might be the best team in the East. I'll have them over the 76ers. Because I don't think Joel Embiid you need Joel Embiid and Paul George to play to go through the East as the 76ers. I think they're better than the Raptors already. I don't know who else is leading the East. I mean, let me look that up real quick. I am surprisingly not that cold. The Pistons. The Pistons are the only team where I'm like, okay. I'm not scared of the Knicks. The Knicks are the Knicks. Right? They're like the Cowboys, and they're like the Vols. Right? And we'll talk about that in a minute. And I'm not scared of the Cavs or the Magic. I mean, like, honestly, I think the Hawks are right now the second best team in the East. They need some more offense. The fact that the Celtics are 12-9 is absolutely insane. And the Sixers are 11-9, but I have more faith in them as the season goes on. As you get Jared McCain back, you could run a 1-3 of Tyrese Maxey, Jared McCain, and VJ Edgecombe. And then, at power forward, Paul George and Joel Embiid's at center. Okay. Hello. Oh, and Quentin Grimes is coming off the bench. Who else is... that team... that's just a good squad, dude. And Andre Drummond's coming off the bench. And, by the way, Andre Drummond, diamond threes. Justin Edwards is solid. Jabari Walker looks good. I don't know why he got cut. Eric Gordon's sitting on the bench. That's a good squad. Dominic Barlow, hello, playing lights out. That's just a good team. That's just a good squad. But on to the college football rankings, and this will kind of segue, and we're going to talk about Lane Kiffin. And more things are coming out about this situation, right? So, and I don't know if I agree with the rankings, right? Ohio State 1, Indiana 2, Georgia 3, Texas Tech 4, Oregon 5, Ole Miss 6. I'm happy Ole Miss did not drop. Texas A&M lost, so they dropped to 7. Oklahoma 8, Alabama 9, Notre Dame 10. We're going to have an Oklahoma team in and their team. That team's going to be a problem to an extent. I think if you can just outdo their defense, you're fine. And then Miami 12. I take Texas over Miami. And Vanderbilt. I'd honestly have Miami 14. And I think it's kind of BS, and we're going to have a 10-2 Miami that is not that good of a team. I also have Ruben Bain in. And that tackle that's going to go in like the first round. But everyone's kind of flipping out, and everyone's kind of upset that Notre Dame's like 10. I don't understand the hype of Notre Dame. If Jeremiah Love gets hurt at all, Notre Dame's not in. The only reason why they're in is Jeremiah Love. And you can't tell me otherwise, because he's having a historically great season as a running back, and we just don't find that out because they don't play anybody. They played Miami and lost. And I think having Miami over Notre Dame is kind of bullshit, because that's just not fair. I don't see any problems with the rankings. I'll go into it more when they come out Tuesday or Sunday. I do want to talk about this, though. Right, there's talk of if Alabama loses to Georgia, do they fall out? Right, and I hate Alabama as a Georgia fan, but no, because you're devaluing the SEC championship game at that point. You're going to tell me you're in, and I'm in, and I play that conference game, and I lose in the championship conference game to the number 3 ranked team in the country, and I get knocked out? Well, then why the hell do I play that game, right? If I'm secured, but I'm in jeopardy of falling out, I don't play that game. I sit out. And then that makes championship games useless. We're going to have asterisk years where teams like, say, Vanderbilt then got it. And then they play Georgia and say they beat Georgia. I don't think that happens. I think Vanderbilt's kind of overrated. But Vanderbilt didn't deserve it because they were the 3rd-ranked team in the SEC. 4th-ranked, honestly. And so to me, you kind of look at that and you're like, we're devaluing it. Now, if a BYU beats a Texas Tech, which, holy shit, that'd be electric. That'd be, the ACC's in jeopardy. And then you've got Tulane. Honestly, instead of Miami, I'd have North Texas or JMU. And North Texas may make it in. I honestly hope Texas beats Tulane because I love Drew Westmaker and Caleb Hawkins. Those two guys are dogs. JMU, I think JMU would get thumped, but it'd be cool to watch JMU, who just converted from FCS to FBS, already be in the playoffs. They're 11-1 now, by the way. And 4 years ago, they were playing in the championship game at the FCS level. That's stupid, right? And they hit the ground running. But a team that fell out of the rankings, and I think they should have fell out last week, Tennessee. And the stat was they've not beat a winning ranked Power 4 team, a Power 4 team with a winning record all year. All 4 of their losses, those teams had winning records. They've only beat losing Power 4 teams with losing records and Group of 5 teams. And I've said this for years, and it's slowly going down, right? It's been a slow fall since Hendon Hooker. Josh Heupel's not that good of a coach. I don't give a shit what you say about his offense. In big games, it's turnover heavy because of the option routes. The defense is never that good. The defense was good last year, but the offense wasn't that good. And you have an offensive head coach and one of the top recruited quarterbacks on that team, and you're not good. And I don't give a shit how bad the receiving core is. You should have brought in a receiver in the portal. We act like you can't just pluck a guy in. I paid you $50,000, $500,000. Come here. I think Tennessee's in a good position, and that's a lot coming from me because I hate Tennessee. But they need a new head coach. I don't think Josh Heupel's going to get done. I don't think Josh Heupel's a guy that's going to win you a title. Honestly, I think Josh Heupel's got one more year. And I've been saying this about DeBoer. They're going to fire DeBoer. And honestly, if they lose this week and it's another 3-loss season, I would not be. His pants are on fire. But I just don't. They're getting worse. They're getting worse, and you wasted a Chris Brazzell year. And Brandon Stanley. Not Stanley, but whatever his name is, the number 2. And defensively, outside of Jermon McCoy, who's been hurt for most of the year, what do you got? They dismissed Boo Carter. And I'm not big on Boo Carter, but I've been hearing chat about him for years. Boo Carter this, Boo Carter that. Well, where is Boo Carter, right? He had one good year. So did Carson Beck, and look at him now. I just don't agree. Now, to the Ole Miss thing. And Lane Kiffin. I called it Lane Kiffin was going to go to LSU. LSU's a bigger monster than Ole Miss. Name-wise, off the rip, you can recruit better. It's LSU. We compete for natties. The expectation year in and year out is natties. Ole Miss, on a good year, usually is SEC championship game. Right? This year, they're 11-1, and they're like, well, we're 11-1, and we play. Let's go and make a title run. Lane Kiffin, who is a snake, has now dipped to go get a better job, right? And I don't think that's fair. I think what's gone on with Trinidad, and I think he's done a great job with Trinidad Chambliss. But I think the way he handled it was not good. The highest of him saying he was going to take his coaches and players with him, threatening Keith Carter in that meeting. It been strung out for so long. I knew he wasn't coming back. If you're staying, you sign that extension quick. You just wanted the media. You wanted to be like LeBron. And then you also threaten, I'm taking my coaches with me, and you take the OC, the receivers coach, the general manager, the assistant AD, and someone else, right? I think might be quality control. You only take that. And you said, you get on a plane today, or you don't have a job at LSU. Hold the phone. And then Pete Golding, I love what Ole Miss did, because Ole Miss was in danger, because signing day's today. Ole Miss was in danger of losing players and coaches. That team could have been dismantled in the matter of days. And what do? They know they have a guy that is widely beloved by the program, widely beloved by the players, and Pete Golding. They believe he's ready, and they hire him. Hire him on the spot. And Lane Kiffin does the thing where he says he's going to talk to his players. He blames Keith Carter. The whole time he's saying this is all Keith Carter's fault, right? And he goes to LSU and he puts out the tweet. And that's the first time the players really know he's leaving. And around the same time he releases this tweet letter, Pete Golding is announced as the head coach. And the building just blows, right? The players are now rallying behind Pete Golding. Well, now because you've hired on staff and everybody loves Pete Golding, he's going to have really good staff retention, right? Most of the guys that stayed will be on that team next year, right? He's the DC, so he's not touching any of the defensive guys because he played a role in hiring them. Because Lane Kiffin was an offensive guy, so now he can put his offense in. And now, I mean, Austin Simmons. I wouldn't be surprised if he left. Honestly, I think Austin Simmons leaves, and I think you keep Trinidad. You keep one of the two. I don't see both leaving. I see Lane Kiffin plucking one of them, and the other one seeing the opportunity to start and playing. But again, I could also see in the world where both of them don't leave, or both of them don't go to LSU. One of them don't go, and the other one leaves somewhere else, and then you keep it. I think Austin Simmons. I mean, the problem was Austin Simmons wanted to play for Lane Kiffin, right? And he started the year and he got hurt, and he's only like 18 or 19, and he gets hurt, and Trinidad comes in, and Lane Kiffin kind of redid Trinidad. But everyone's excited about Pete Golding, and now we're getting reports, and Suntarine Perkins, who I love, I think he's a dog of a defensive end, and other starters and other players are now coming out and speaking of Lane Kiffin. That's not what Lane Kiffin said. He didn't want to talk to us. He didn't want to try it. He didn't, he was a coward. He didn't want to face to us man to man. I mean, what is the direct quote? Suntarine Perkins, he said, my request to do so was denied by Keith Carter, despite the team also asking him to keep me coaching, because he wanted to keep coaching through it, which is not fair. So they could have a better maintain their higher level of performance. Suntarine said, that was not the message you said in the meeting room. Everybody that was there can vouch for this. That's damning. That's not just a guy. That's one of the better players on Ole Miss's roster. And he tried to do two things at once, and the whole problem was Pete Golding's got to recruit his guys. And as long as Lane Kiffin's the head coach, you can't hire his replacement, because Lane Kiffin's just gonna scorch earth it, and he's gonna screw him over. So you had to get rid of him, because signing day is today. This happened like Monday, and the transfer portal's in like 2 weeks. So you had to move on. And he then acts hysterically, is escorted out of the building, and players are now talking out about him. Sometimes you have to sell your soul in football. Some people do. I don't believe you have to. Right? Some people believe you have to sell your soul to the devil to win. And so bringing in Lane Kiffin is like selling your soul. Right? I understand why Ole Miss did it, because he's coming from FIU, and FIU was supposed to be his first chance back. He's a head coach. Let's see, and he's doing good. So let's bring him back up to the big leagues. And the way he handled this LSU thing is like, man, he did not grow up at all. At all. And it's disappointing. It's unfortunate to see. I would have liked to have seen him be better than he was at, Tennessee, the Raiders, USC, Bama, everything like that. I think it's just a shame. I hope Ole Miss is not penalized. I hope Ole Miss is not, penalized for that. But next up, we're going to talk about the Falcons. We're just going to hit a few bullet points, and we're going to be out of here. The Falcons lost to the Jets. Jets had one win. The Jets are one of the worst teams in the NFL. This is a team that's one of the most talented teams in the NFL. You spent $200 million on a quarterback, and then that same year, same few months, you then drafted a top 15 quarterback, and we still don't know who the quarterback. We don't have a quarterback of the future. We don't know who it is, right? Defensively, you had one of the most talented defenses in all the NFL this year, and you're giving up regularly 20 points a game. And now this year's the secondary, because for God knows what reason, you did not bring back Justin Simmons. You don't have the opposite side corner position figured out, aside from A.J. Terrell. And we haven't had that. I mean, we signed Casey Howard a few years ago, and he got hurt instantly, right? So, Billy Bowman's your nickel. Xavier Watts is your safety, and it might be the other way around. And now one of them's out with a shoulder injury for the rest of the year. Jesse Bates is a hell of a safety. The D-line looks good. Ruka Koro is this defensive line is great. You've got two great edge rushers in, James Pierce Jr. and Jalen Walker. You have Leonard Floyd, who has not been used much. This team, you let Nate Landman walk. You have Caden Ellis, but J.D. Bertrand should not be playing. So, again, you've missed. It's a poorly. Dumb decisions. Terry Flipnote should be fired, and Raheem Moore should be fired. I full-heartedly believe that. Kyle Pitts now looks good, but Darnell Mooney's not. We're not seeing any development offensively. This is the same offense year in and year out. We're not seeing progression. Darnell Mooney has regressed. We didn't go fix left tackle. We let Drew Dahlman walk. Look, we had to sign Drew Dahlman, re-sign him, and the offensive line was set, right? Like, we could have lost Cale McGarity and his backup and been fine. Ryan News was the starting center. He was in the practice squad 2 years ago, and it's not like he's a dog. He's just a warm body. So, I don't know what the Falcons do. I think they fire him. I don't know what you do. You can't draft a quarterback, right? You have to roll Michael Penix again. And the damn problem is you can't move off Kirk Cousins. So you've got to use Kirk Cousins to start the year till Michael Penix gets back. And that's not good. I mean, like, it's so damning. We don't have our first round pick. It's going to the Rams. And the Rams will most likely draft the quarterback of the future to sit behind Matthew Stafford, who's having a historical season. Or not historic season, but his best season ever. So we can get James Pierce Jr. just to suck ass. I mean, like, I don't... Clear house. When shit wasn't done right after Arthur Smith. Bring in Robert Saleh. I mean, dang, dude. I don't know. Todd Monken, please. Somebody other. And I was a Raheem Morris lover. I thought he should have got it when he was the interim coach after Dan Quinn got fired. I thought he should have been the replacement because the team played well and they were beating playoff teams week after week after week. He goes to the Rams. He's a DC. He wins a Super Bowl there. We bring him back and there's no magic. I mean, there's just none. I mean, we beat the Bills and we lost to the Jets. Explain that to me. We beat Josh Allen and lost to Tyrod Taylor. How? That's so stupid. Like, that should not happen. That's just not how that's supposed to work. And it's a joke. I mean, it's so bad. How do you lose? Right? How are we wasting Bijan Robinson and Drake London? How? And Chris Lindstrom. And Jake Matthews, for God's sake. He's been one of the better left tackles for like what feels like a decade. And we're wasting him. I mean, it's Michael Penix does not have confidence and just does not make good reads. Kirk Cousins can't move. Like play action is just non-existent. And that's insane because you have a top 5 running back in the league. And you can't run play action off of him because your quarterback can't move. I don't understand how we got in this. I see why, but I don't know like how you whiff this bad. You just can't make it up as an Atlanta fan, right? The Braves can't stay healthy. The Hawks have a Trae Young issue, and we don't know where else. Oh my goodness. I think Atlanta is a joke. I think Atlanta is a joke. I mean, like, you just can't make this shit up about this team. To the next topic, because I'm getting cold as crap. Right? The Chiefs are back down to earth. The Chiefs lost again, and I said this last week. And you can pull up the thing. They lost. I mean, they lost, and they lost to who? The Cowboys? Yeah, they lost to the Cowboys. They just can't. They don't have a running game, and this is why I have them taking Jeremiah Love in the first round. I mean, Patrick Mahomes played well, but again, you couldn't really run the ball. Your defense could not stop a cold. I mean, George Pickens, holy cow, right? 6 catches, 88 yards. CeeDee Lamb had 112. And Javonte Williams was mauling guys. They just couldn't come up with stops. And they just outpaced them. I don't think this Chiefs team's as close. They're 6-6. They are fighting for just a playoff spot. They're not winning the division. And here's the problem, too. I don't think this is a good team away. They're good at home. And that's why they've been so good is because the AFC's ran through Arrowhead. But AFC is not touching Arrowhead. They're leaving Arrowhead. So this team doesn't look good away. And they're going to have to play away to get to the Super Bowl. I think if they make it, their first round at bounce, they might make it to the second because who knows who they face in the first round. But if they run into a Broncos, I don't know about the Colts, and we'll talk about them in a second. A Chargers, a team like that, a Patriots. I think the Patriots are good. I think they get bounced quick. They're a Ravens. I don't think they have the offensive firepower to go strut for strut with them. And they won 2 weeks. They won the game before, and everyone's like, they're Super Bowl favorites. Super Bowl, come on, like they could win the division. They lose, and now everyone's like, they might not make the playoffs. Like, yeah, like we need to cut it out. And the other person I said everyone was overreacting to is on here. We build this up every week because we're clamoring for the Chiefs. And it's just like, can we be realistic for a second? Like, if this was not the Chiefs, if we had a blind resume, we'd be like, damn, this team's struggling. Like, this team cannot run the ball consistently. They don't have a number one receiver. Their offensive line's banged up. The Joe Thuney trade is really biting them in the ass. I mean, that second-round pick they had last year, who they tried to get started at tackle, sucked, and now he's moved in, is good. Josh Simmons broke his wrist. So, again, who's the playing tackle? Wyatt Morris? That brother's buns. I mean, they gave him all this chance in hell last year to be the starting left tackle, and he proved otherwise. So, I it's just so exhausting. It's because we try so, modern media try so hard. The Chiefs are good because we glazed Mahomes, and we glazed the Chiefs because they were so good for so many years. When in reality, this has been coming for a while. They delayed it because Chris Jones went nuts, right? And Trent McDuffie and guys like that, Nick Bolton. But I mean, it was a sign last year. The offensive line has slowly become a problem. You have Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey and Jawan Taylor, but outside of that, what are you doing, right? What is the move? And it's just I don't think this team is good. They're gonna have to reset. I think they have to go get a running back in the first round. You have to take Jeremiah Love. You've got to pair him up with Patrick Mahomes, and I think that's the most broke shit in the world. I don't like that. I think that is bad for the league because I think the Chiefs being dominant is bad. I think dynasties like that in football are bad, right? But not really. I just don't like Mahomes. I just don't. I think they're overrated. But on a non-biased set there, they need a running back. Kareem Hunt is damn near 30, and running backs don't make it that far. Isaiah Pacheco is bad. Jeremiah Love with Patrick Mahomes, you've got a dog of a runner. You've got a receiving threat. You just go get a lineman and maybe a D tackle, a good D tackle, and you're set. I mean, they could draft a D tackle in the second round or a guard in the second round, and you'd be fine. And I would not be surprised if this team finished 500. I wouldn't be surprised if this team finished under 500. They're an injury or two away. If Chris Jones goes down, that defense has no pass rush. George Karlaftis is cool and all, but he's a number 2 pass rusher. I'd love him in Detroit. If I'm Detroit, I would be clamoring. I'd be moving mountains for George Karlaftis right now. I'd be moving mountains for Myles Garrett because holy shit. But we don't And speaking of the Browns and how cracked they are, Sheduar lost again. They lost. Holy cow, this computer's getting cold. 28-6, and I've been watching stuff all week about him because I wasn't sure. I had written this up, and I was like, okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm overreacting, and I'm hearing bad anticipation, terrible footwork. And these are area of the gridiron with, they've got former offensive linemen on there. Richie Incognito and someone else. And there was a quarterback guy on there. I've seen Chase Daniels break him down where he's behind on reads. And Chase Daniels, a hell of a smart guy. He backed up Patrick Mahomes for a while, right? And it's a come down to earth thing. And I'm not saying Sheduar's bad. I'm saying he's a backup, and we need to stop trying to make it like he's a franchise quarterback who's getting blackballed out of the league. He's not. We just got to admit he's not that good. He's all right. But we clamor, like the Chiefs, we're just clamoring for him to be good. And it's no. If they have a top pick, right, and you have Ty Simpson or Fernando Mendoza, and this is a bad draft class, quarterback-wise. This is not a good draft class, quarterback-wise, compared to the recent years. You take Ty Simpson and Fernando Mendoza because their floor is what Sheduar is giving you now. Like, their worst is what Sheduar is right now. And Sheduar's a damn good backup. I'd trade Dylan Gabriel away and keep Sheduar as my backup. Because in a pinch, I need this. But Sheduar's not a guy, because he's missing reads. He doesn't play with uber confidence. Like, he talks a big game, but when he's making throws, he's not, like, it's not a quick trigger. It's him waiting, throws, and he overthrows him, waiting, throws, and now the DB's got it. The route Jerry Jeudy's pissed about. He's got him in the guy that I was watching break it down, the former NFL player, I forgot what his name is. He had him in the first window, misses, okay? And then he overthrows him in the second window. That crosser route, the deep route that goes to Jerry Jeudy, he had him open for like 2 seconds before, and he misses him. It's the constant sense of waiting. And someone said this before. Okay, and I don't think I saved this clip, and I really wish I did. They said he's making all the same throws as Dylan Gabriel. And we were in uproar to get Dylan Gabriel out of there. Maybe this is a scheme issue, or maybe this is just, like, these quarterbacks aren't that good. And they're having them do, like, we are not in the building. We do not see them practice. We do not see the mistakes, right? Maybe instead of acting like we know who this player is, maybe we should trust the people in the building. There's a reason why. I mean, there were so many checkdowns. I mean, how many catches? All right, Quishon Junkins had 3 catches. Harold Fanning had 3 for 43. I mean, Isaiah Bond had 1 catch for 18 yards. Jerry Jeudy had 26 yards. And he had 3 catches. Like, nothing about this was push the ball. The deepest pass was 34 yards caught. None of this. There was nothing. And that was the only one past 20. Everything was checkdowns and dump-offs. And Harold Fanning, I said it before, dude's going to be a damn good tight end in the league. He just got to have a better quarterback. But I just don't. I think if the weeks go by and this keeps happening, and maybe I'm wrong and maybe he goes and has a hell of a finish to the season, I think by the end of the season, people are going to have to come to terms with it. That he's just not that good. And that's fine. I think he's a backup quarterback. I did not love him in my pre-draft process. I never thought he was that good. I thought Travis Hunter made him that good, but they don't have a Travis Hunter level receiver on that team. Jerry Jeudy's their best, and he's, I think, a number 2 receiver on a really good team. And you're not even feeding your best receiver. I mean, 3 catches? What are we doing? I mean, he was 16 and 25, 149 yards. That's 10 yards less than. That's under 10 yards a catch, a completed pass. Usually you want 12 yards per completion. That was under 12 yards. Or 10 yards. That isn't even 10 yards. That means he's throwing short routes. He's dumping the ball off. He's hitting checkdowns. He's not trying to make big plays. And that's the whole thing we wanted with Sheduar. That's the whole everything everybody wanted. He's going to make the big plays. No, he's not. I've been calling this since day one. He's not that good. And we're going to see it. He's not. He doesn't have the arm talent. There's a reason why he didn't compete in the combine. There's a reason why we didn't see him in his pro day. Or not in pro day. The East-West Shrine game. Because they were going to make him push the ball downfield. And he was going to get exposed. So what? They put him in the pro day. Guess who controls the pro day? His dad did. Like, we've got to stop with this thing. We're picking bits and pieces. And I don't know who said it. I don't know who made that quote was, he's doing the exact same thing as Dylan Gabriel, and we wanted Dylan Gabriel gone. But that's so true. Like, it's just because of his name. It's just because he's a Sanders, and it's a Dion's son. And he's got the moxie, and everyone's like, well, they must hate that. Well, he apparently bombed interviews, but we're going to blow past that. We're going to forget that, right? And that's not even like years ago. This is very recent. If this was 3 years ago and we're still talking about it, okay, but that guy's changed, hopefully. But this is the same guy. He was a third-string quarterback getting post-game interviews. I'm just pointing it out. Nothing about him screams superstar. And it's not like he's making, like when Justin Herbert came in, you're watching his throws and you're like, man, he can zip it. Man, he throws a beautiful deep ball. He's pushing the ball down. He's aggressive. Josh Allen, he's a hell of a deep ball. You're not, like, what are you seeing with poise? Okay. Shit, I hope so. He's an NFL quarterback. Takes hits. His footwork when he's trying to move is awful. Awful. I just think we've overhyped this kid. And I think we've got to come back to earth about it. Next up is the Bears. And they've won another game. And they played well. I think I've got 2 more topics left. Everything is here. Frozen. Yeah, they played. They beat the Eagles. And we'll talk about the Eagles at a later date. But yeah, Caleb Williams. I mean, nothing really stood out. Kyle Monangai, 7th round pick. I loved him. I think it's just because he's a thumper and he's just gonna just maul you. And there's nothing like exciting about it. He's gonna get drafted late. But I love and DeAndre Swift. They've got their version of Thunder and Lightning and what he had in Detroit. And he's built a great offensive line. And Caleb Williams at some point surely develops to the right quarterback. They're 9-3? I think they're 9-3. Yeah. Better record than the Eagles. They've got a Colson Loveland, a Luther Burden, a Cole Kmet, DJ Moore, Romeo Aduze, Olamide Zaccheaus is your 3, maybe your 4. And I mean, defensively, I would love to see more pass rushers. The fact we're letting Joe Shaka-Tryon be a big pass rusher. Holy cow, they're beating it. I just don't. I think the Bears. I don't know if they beat the Packers. I think they can beat the Lions. I think the Lions offensively are in trouble. They've lost Amon-Ra, and again, they have no pass rush. And this has been the problem for the Lions for 2 years. This is the 3rd straight year. What do? Draft an edge rusher? No, you draft 2 corners. Okay, Aiden Hutchinson gets hurt. You have, again, no pass rusher, right? You have to bring in an old-ass Zadarius Smith, okay? Still no pass rush. You have another first-round pick. Edge rusher, right? Surely. A run-only D tackle. What the hell? Surely you're going to go out and trade for a guy? No. Surely you're going to go out and sign a guy? No. My number 2 edge rusher is Marcus Davenport. What the hell? I don't think that the Lions are scary. Kirby Joseph is probably out for the year. Now, they have no help. I mean, the secondary is just decimated. This year's the secondary. Last year's the linebackers and the D line. Oh man, holy! And they let James Houston go, and I love that kid, and he's now balling in Dallas. But the Bears are good. I'm happy to see they're 9-3 because there was like, is Ben Johnson going to work? No, Ben Johnson's working. I think we've got to see more. I think we'll see more from Caleb Williams next year. Because it's his first year under that OC, or under Ben Johnson. But I just think it'd be better. I think they're going to be better. I don't know if they're for real. They're probably going to make the playoffs and might be a one and done. Maybe win a game 1-2. But I think that's a good team. I mean, I think the Bears are pretty good. On to the last. The Colts are falling. And it's getting bad. And they lost to the Texans team, and I talked about this last week. Man, the Texans are good. C.J. Stroud's back. He threw for 276. Woody Marks had a decent game. Nico Collins had a good game. And Jaden Higgins is becoming that number 2. That's what they needed. Sheldon Rankins had a sack, but everybody else was just harassing people. I mean, this is a elite defense, right? And they kept the score under 20, and the Colts got to 20. The Texans got to 20. Again, Jonathan Taylor did not run. Jonathan Taylor, the recipe for the Colts, has to get 100 yards. Right, Daniel Jones is hurt, and he's threw 2 touchdowns, but only 51% completion percentage. That's not going to make it. 14-27 is bad. For 201 isn't terrible, but I need more completions, right? Especially when you lose by 4. Alec Pierce, again, we don't have a number 1 receiver there. And guess who balled out against the Falcons? A.D. Mitchell. And I said he should have been the number 1 receiver before. Because I've watched this kid all throughout college, and I was like, he's a number 1. But what do? We have Michael Pittman, and Michael Pittman disappears in big games, like regularly. Alec Pierce is a deep threat. He's a solid guy. I think he's a Walmart version of Puka Nacua. I think, like, if you had a quarterback that knew how to use him. Josh Downs is a good slot. Ashel Doolin's a good deep threat. And we're underutilizing Tyler Warren. I mean, Tyler Warren should be your number 1, and we're not. I mean, we're just not feeding it to him. And defensively, they're they're suffering injuries, right? I mean, like this team is starting to fall apart. And now Sauce Gardner's out, and Sauce Gardner hasn't played well at all. But listen, the Colts now have a 1-game lead over the Texans. Who would have thought? And I honestly believe, and the Jaguars are still in it. Right, it's a 3-team race. I would not be shocked if the Texans win the division and the Colts barely make the playoffs or barely miss. Because they're falling apart, and they're probably going to move on from Daniel Jones. I don't know who. I don't know. Maybe they trade Daniel Jones. I'd take Daniel Jones in Atlanta. I'd take him. I think Atlanta's got a better team than Indianapolis. I think Indianapolis has missed it. This year was their last year of their window. Guys are going to start becoming free agents or get too old. DeForest Buckner's been there for like half a decade now, and you haven't gotten anything for it, right? You keep letting these top tacklers go. You lost Shaquille Leonard and you replaced him with Zaire Franklin and E.J. Speed, and you let E.J. Speed go, and Zaire Franklin's still there, but like Zaire Franklin can only do so much. But yeah, I just don't like it. Also, the Tech season ended. We should have beat North Dakota. Kako Vesperis, our quarterback, had 6 turnovers. That was one of the worst quarterback performances I've ever watched. It's 10-6. I mean, the offense is trying so hard not to win this game, and the defense is playing lights out. I mean, for short field and everything, they're doing good. And he's holding the ball out like just wide open, right? And like I work with the D-line during ball disruption drills, that's what they work on. Just getting around the tackle and smacking. And that's what's happening. He's running with the ball out. No 2 hands on the ball. Listen, I never played at a high level. I was a dog-ass player. I've listened to coaches. I pay attention, and I've tried to understand the game from higher level people. I know that as a quarterback, you're supposed to have 2 hands on the ball. I know. Like, even when quarterbacks in the NFL are picking apart other quarterbacks, there's 2 hands on the ball. 2 hands on the ball. And, I mean, he almost had and it's been a problem all year where, like, guys are starting to smack the ball out. But it just got bad. And then Trey Holloway was, I mean, could have had a legendary game if the ball was thrown to him. I mean, I think it's a 3-receiver set. Noah goes deep. Trammell, who's one of the shorter players on the team, goes on like a deep post. And then Trey runs like a 10-yard in. Trey is like in between the corner, the linebacker and the safety. And there's a window. And then Trammell's dragging the over-top safety, the other safety, and his corner with him. And he throws the deep ball to Trammell, expecting Trammell to get it, and it's picked in the end zone. Trey could have probably scored if you threw that to him. If not, you've got a first down, new set of downs. And then when we played UT Martin, Brian Courtney probably saved the season with some of the plays he's made. I mean, he's one of the better tight ends in FCS football, I believe. We just did not utilize him. And when we did, he showed that he was a dog. I mean, he was all OEC team, and I feel like we didn't use him enough, and he carried us in against UT Martin, and he had like 2 catches. What are we doing? Well, we've got it. He's from FSU. You look at him, you're like he's a dog, and we don't force feed him. I think we missed. I mean that North Dakota team. It was 10-6 going into the 4th, and that North Dakota team was just playing because our offense was sucking. Like we could not move the ball. We abandoned the run early on. Quinto Quinn, who was a dog, did not get many carries. Quindarius Jennings didn't get many carries. And I love Aiden Littles. Had a hell of a pass pickup. Listen, I wish there was a video of what he did, right? Because I get a perfect view. The play opens up and there's a hole, right? And the linebacker's blitzing. And he's screaming. What does Aiden do? Just turn his shoulder and hit him with it and like kind of roll. And when he hits him, there's enough time Ko is able, like, he knocks him that way. And Ko is able to step up in the pocket and release a dime. And let me tell you something. That hit, that should be used when you are teaching a running back to pick up pass pro how to do it. Literally, it wasn't. I feel like that probably hurt. I didn't talk to him about. I didn't ask him because he kind of gave up his back and kind of got hit. But I mean. That's what you love to see. I mean, he threw his body at him. He said, "Hell no," and just hit him. And we underutilized an Aiden Little's effort. We were forcing it to Noah Robinson and Mario Sullivan instead of feeding it to Brian Courtney. Mari Sullivan and Noah Robinson are dogs, but like, you got to focus on where they're giving you, and they're giving you Brian Courtney. They're taking away your outside receivers. They're giving you Trey Holloway. Guess what? If you get it to Trey Holloway and Brian Courtney, your other two receivers are going to open up. And then the running game's going to open up for when we can use it, because when we're good and we're rolling, we're running down the middle. We're moving the ball, we're running the ball, leaning on you. And we just didn't do that. And that defense played lights out. It would be like we get a turnover, and then we fumble. Or throw a pick. And the defense was getting exhausted, dude. I think it was 22 times on the field. The average is 11. Holy shit. That defense was going to fall apart at some point. Like, they just got tired, and I think they just got over it. I think they were just like, holy man, how many times do we got to stop them? And then North Dakota scored, and I felt like it was over. I felt like you felt everything just pulled out. But yeah, that's all for today's episode. This episode should be out. This is Wednesday night, so Wednesday night, Thursday morning. But yeah, see y'all next time.